This week, my friends, I watched a fascinating documentary called Losing Sight of Shore. It's about 4 young British women who decided to be the first people in modern times to successfully row across the Pacific Ocean from California to Australia via Hawaii and Samoa. And they expected their journey to take about 6 months or so. But it took 9 months, and they covered 8,466 miles. Spencer's going to put their route up for us to see. Their big why was to raise funds and awareness for breast cancer research and see how strong and resilient they each could be. They trained not only in rowing, but in the mental and emotional skills needed to undertake such a demanding journey. Their boat was tiny. Look at that. Dwarfed by the immense ocean, with 2 small sleep alcoves on either end of the boat. They could barely fit 2 people. They ate freeze-dried food the whole journey, and they had no support boats accompanying them. And the women took turns every 2 hours, either rowing or sleeping or helping the boat day and night. You can see the boat is very small. Days, weeks, and months went by with the same monotonous, sleepless rhythm, confined to their small boat in the vast Pacific Ocean. They set off from San Francisco in April 2015 and got quite a way out to sea before their solar batteries started to flood in the hull. And without the batteries, they would lose use of their navigation equipment and satellite systems. So they had to return to dry land and regroup. And they actually docked in Santa Barbara. They fixed the hull and the batteries, and then they set off again. And their first leg to Hawaii took 50 days, rowing 3,065 miles through stormy seas with waves as tall as buildings. Sunburnt and rain-drenched, rowing through injuries, illness, and boredom. They tried to stay positive out in the wild, vast ocean, knowing that their participation was a matter of life and death. They never gave up their vision of seeing the islands of Hawaii one day, then making it to Samoa another 60 days and 2,600 miles later, and finally arriving in Cairns, Australia, after another 45 days and 2,800 miles. Their vision and their clear belief in what they could do kept them strong. Now, the longer their journey went on, the more difficult it became. They navigated through choppy, endless days at sea, day and night, alternately baking hot and freezing cold. They confronted injuries. One crew member was sick over the side of the boat for many, many days. They had mental breakdowns, and they ran out of food near the end. And in fact, the last 20 miles were the hardest. They exhausted their food supplies, and strong countercurrents almost stopped them from getting to Australia. They were so close, yet they had massive hurdles to overcome. And it felt like they were never going to make it, and they might never step foot on land again. And their families were terrified that they would never see their daughters alive. But finally, one day, 9 months after setting out from California, they were able to shout, "Land ahoy!" And even though they didn't dock at the harbor in Cairns as they had planned, they made it to a beach in Australia before they starved. You can see they're very happy. Some of the team were avid rowers and participated in this challenge to prove their physical prowess. But others were doing it to test their mental and emotional capacities and had almost never rowed before. They confronted huge inner demons, fear, illness, and resistance. And since there was no place that they could escape to, they learned that the only way through a challenge is through it, and to never give up on their vision and goal. My friends, that's where we are right now, crossing the wild, vast ocean. Now, I was hoping to come to you today and shout, "Land ahoy!" and share with you the beautiful promised land that we are about to dock at. But instead, we still have some miles to row. Our congregation has left the shore, and we're in the middle of our journey and can't yet see the land on the other side. Our adventure continues. But just like those 4 women were relentlessly optimistic that they could do this, propelled by their teamwork, we are buoyed by one another's strength, courage, and hope. And just like they kept their vision clear and ever present, we can collectively hold our vision of our new home. Now, of course, their lives were at stake with such a dangerous undertaking. Ours are not, right? We have plenty of sustenance available to us, including an amazing pasta lunch coming right after service, and we are on dry land together. At the end of the journey, the rowers shared, "You can never cross an ocean unless you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. Whatever the shore is next time, don't be afraid to row away from it. Everyone has their own Pacific to cross." Our Pacific right now as a congregation is finding our new home, and we're in the midst of rowing across that challenge, having left the shore far behind, but not yet seeing our new land. And it can be a time when fear, anxiety, or fatigue kicks in, like it did for the rowers. But I always like to remember that our community, our fellowship, is not our buildings, right? We, the people, are Chalice. Can I hear an amen? Amen? As long as we have each other, we can continue our beautiful mission there, and we can keep learning and serving and loving one another. Our buildings are not who we are. They're just the structure of our amazing community that we currently inhabit. But remember, my friends, we survived 2 years online during the pandemic without being in a building, without getting to hear our wonderful choir every week. And we even grew during that time. And as Thelma Williams, our wise one among us, who's been a member here for over 50 years, shared with us recently, we will be fine. She's seen the congregation through many moves over the years and watched us transform into a stronger community with each move, right, Thelma? So let me give you some of the coordinates of our boat's current position in the Pacific. Luckily, we have satellite communications and sufficient batteries. Now, I can assure you that despite our impending move, we're in a robust position as a congregation. We own our beautiful fellowship hall next door outright, thanks to all of our generosity and vision over the years. And that means we have a secure home we can continue to use until we're given an offer we can't refuse and find somewhere closer to our new vision. Now, you members voted at our last congregational meeting to find somewhere larger that allows room for congregational growth, that is more visible in the community, and ideally has outside space for us all to gather and welcome our beautiful children to play and have fun. The OCR group, who owns this beautiful sanctuary, have received a full price offer on their building, and they have opened escrow and are planning to sell it. And that price was more than we could afford without selling our fellowship hall and raising more money. But don't worry, my friends, because our sanctuary lease continues through the end of June, so we still have time. And meanwhile, we also have an offer on our fellowship hall that we're in negotiations about. However, we're determined to get a strong offer on our building, as we've realized that we can actually conduct worship from there while we wait. In fact, we spaced out our fellowship hall last week and found we could sit about 90 to 100 people in there, and with an overflow room and child space and continued virtual options. So we can conduct worship there for a few months while we wait for our ideal buyer. And then when the weather gets better, which of course it is right now, we could even hold worship in a park outside. We are resourceful and creative, and we'll be fine. And then when fortune shines on us and we sell our building for a good price, we may concurrently find our new home sweet home. We're looking for a space that will be a good investment and will meet our 3 criteria that you decided were important. And it might not be our forever property, but it will be a step up for us, which will help us sell it more easily when we have the funds to buy our dream vision. But my friends, if our new home sweet home takes a little longer to find, we have a rental option at the United Methodist Church of Westlake Village, or other possible rental ideas where we can move temporarily. So we have options, we have plans for whatever might arise on our journey. And my friends, we are a creative, resourceful people. And when we work together, we can move mountains or cross vast oceans. So even though we've left the shore, we are rowing full strength towards our future together, towards our bright new reality. Meanwhile, my friends, the more generous we can each be during this pledge drive for our 2024-25 year, the more options we will have as a congregation. This is how we budget for our future. And right now we find ourselves limited in what we can buy because our finances are tight. And it's hard to find a fantastic building or great land for $3 million in the Conejo Valley. We will likely need to get a mortgage for just under $1 million after selling Fellowship Hall. And banks will look at our pledge income as security against that mortgage, right, Peter? He's done the numbers and he says they want our pledge numbers as security. So I'm asking, if every one of us raises our pledges as much as we're able to this year, we're going to have more options in terms of what we can buy. And if there's any time for us all to dig deep and give generously, it is now. Because that's going to give us the best opportunity to secure a lovely, beautiful new home. My friends, the site visioning team has been working relentlessly for 1.5 years on this. They've been meeting weekly to steer and keep rowing our boat, and they're doing an extraordinary job. So now it's your turn to help us in this transformation. Your turn to row and invest your resources. For us to get across this ocean with strength and vision, we need every single one of you to help us and help co-create our future. We all need to take turns rowing, resting, and participating strongly to get our boat to the shore. Though truth be told, let's be honest, we're not really on a rowboat, right? We're in a much more kind of a solid structure. Maybe more like a cruise ship, really. But even on a cruise ship, you have to trust that the captain and crew know where they're heading, while you all enjoy the view and the parties and the company. Plus, of course, as many of you know who've been on cruise ships, everyone is paying handsomely to enjoy all the amenities and activities of a cruise ship, right? And cruise ships don't even offer a life-changing vision or long-term loving community and social action and work in the world and opportunities for personal transformation, do they? We offer all that and more right here on dry land, my friends. No need to risk your lives. So I invite us all to help Chalice in whatever way we possibly can right now. We will need all of us to give as generously as possible to our congregation in this pledge drive. And if you can give more this year than last, it will make a huge difference. The fact is, we have over 200 members and many talents and resources amongst us. We always invite you to give generously within your means in whatever way stirs your heart. But this year, your pledge is more important than ever. So I'm going to go out on a limb and invite you to give more than you were planning in your head, and to stretch yourself spiritually to become more generous than you ever thought was possible. It's about opening our hearts to one another and to our collective vision of the future. Because you are giving to help us realize our dream of touching more lives, of serving this community more powerfully, and being a strong, sturdy ship in the face of election winds blowing hard later this year. Help get us to our beautiful land so we can be strong, resilient, and make a difference in what may be choppy waters as a country ahead. So in addition to giving as generously as we possibly can right now, I invite you to continue keeping a flexible mindset, having faith, and trusting that all will be well. Keep actively holding the vision of our new home in your minds. Create vision boards, or pray if you do that, or hold collective intentions for our home sweet home. While we're on this journey together, we get to practice being kind, hopeful, and gentle with one another, and determine how we navigate these seas together. Now, some of us might get tired or anxious along the way. Let's hold each other in those times with kindness. But that's also another opportunity for us to work and grow together and to demonstrate what an amazing community we are. We're not our buildings or even our worship services. Our strength as a congregation is who we are together. And we are a community of loving, intentional, caring, passionate, active folk who work together to make the world and one another's lives better. We are love in action, right? As Maya Angelou says about the journey of transformation, we delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty. So we will emerge from this time more beautiful than ever, my friends. I know we will. We're just in the process of transformation right now. And as our Unitarian forefather, Ralph Waldo Emerson, said, nothing is secure but life, transition, the energizing spirit. People wish to be settled, but only as far as they are unsettled is there any hope for them. That's Emerson. So starting next Sunday, our fearless sight visioning team leader, Randy Slentz, Randy, raise your hand, who spoke earlier, will be available after worship every Sunday in the sanctuary for any questions regarding our move. And if you have concerns, you can talk with Randy after the service. And the board and I are also always available to you for questions or concerns. We're committed to a transparent process, and we want to partner with all of you on this journey. And we're going to need some of you who are good organizers or strong, muscly, strong people to offer all hands on deck to help us pack and move. So, my friends, when a visiting steward calls you this week or next, remember that they're all volunteers giving their time. Please treat them with respect and answer or return their calls. They want to know how you're doing in this moment, how you're engaging at Chalice, and whether there's anything you want leadership to know. This is an opportunity for feedback, for deepening connection, and a chance to explore how you might express your generosity. Please welcome their call. An alternative, if you want, excuse me, you can make your pledge today by scanning our QR codes found throughout the sanctuary and fellowship hall. And then your visiting steward will simply call you to see how you're doing. We're trying to complete this pledge drive within 2 weeks so that we can keep focusing on the important work of finding our new home sweet home. So please don't let's use up all of our energy in tracking you down and following up with you. Just do it, and then we'll be on our way on the ocean, right? My friends, I invite us all to please give generously, give gratefully, and give with abundant hearts. Because you can help us transform our future. The end of this chapter is just the beginning of our glorious next one. May we approach it with hope, faith, joy, generosity, and love. My beloved, life calls us on. May it be so.